Hello, I'm Eduardo Gonçalves from the Climate Group and welcome to Climate TV. Today we're looking at India and asking what are the Indian government's priorities in terms of climate change and the low carbon economy and how are businesses contributing to it. With me to discuss this is the Executive Director of the Climate Group India, Krishnan Pallassana. What are the opportunities for policymakers and businesses around the low carbon economy in India? And how is the Climate Group bringing them together, convening them and catalysing action?
We all know that India is one of the fastest growing economies of the world. And it's also one of the biggest consumer markets in the world now, with millions of middle and lower middle class people, aspiring and growing. At the same time, we have also got roughly about 300 to 400 million people who need to come out of the current cycle of poverty to further emphasize this growing market, right? Now, this is a huge opportunity for India. India cannot grow unless these 300 million odd people who are currently classified as poor come out of the poverty cycle. Now, imagine 20 years down the line, instead of 300, 400 million middle class Indians, we have got almost 900 to a billion middle class Indians. I mean, it will be one of the greatest opportunities for the global business to thrive in such a market. Now, that is one of the biggest opportunities that India is actually offering to the global market. Now, for this growth to happen, it has to be inclusive, it has to be equitable, right? Now, we already have evidences that shows that investment in a low carbon future, particularly around renewable energy and energy efficiency, can lead to an inclusive, equitable growth and prosperity for everyone.
The Climate Group has recently been working to develop a new business model around off grid renewable energy. Can you tell us a bit more about this? And also, what are the opportunities for this potentially being a win win for hundreds of millions of people?
Now, what we are doing under Bijli is nothing new. We are basically reaching out to thousands of families with an energy access that is based on clean energy. People have done that before also. But what we have been demonstrating, we have been doing differently are few things. Number one is that access to energy is fundamental for social and economic development. We have evidences that are with us through which the people who have got access to this affordable clean energy has rapidly grown in terms of their social development indicators, including education and health, and they have also grown economically because they are able to apply more productively their own time using this alternate clean energy access. That is number one. Number two, we are actually demonstrating that the same equitable, inclusive growth can be achieved through an enterprise led solution to development. We are talking about building small, sustainable, viable enterprises across the country. And through Bijli program, we have identified those viable business enterprises that can actually trigger the next revolution of clean energy in India and thereby contributing to the growth and the sustainability of Indian society. And the third thing that we are showing is that because through this initiative, there is this equal growth that is happening at the grassroots level. There is a strong, vibrant business enterprises that are developing. At the same time, it is also leading to further investments that happens onto the country. Now we have demonstrated that renewable energy micro enterprises are viable. It makes a business sense. That means it is attracting more and more investment to come. So we are talking about a win-win-win-win situation where the people are winning, where the enterprises are winning, the investors are happy, and it also contributes to the government's priority at the social and economic levels.
There's been a lot of speculation regarding India's position in relation to the international climate negotiations. What is India's position and what's at the heart of its thinking?
Right. Couple of things I want to share right up front is that the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has repeatedly underlined, said even in public gatherings, that there has to be an action that needs to be taken to reduce the negative impact of climate. That is a non-negotiable concern for India, right? India has never shied away from this claim or this responsibility, and India has also very clearly articulated that, like any other country, India is also responsible and they will take actions to reduce emissions. This is very, very clear. Second, we also have on a positive note, we also have a prime minister who has actually demonstrated that low carbon initiatives possible, possible, and it is working efficiently. Prior to becoming the prime minister in India, he was the chief minister of Gujarat state, where he has driven a very, very successful, ambitious renewable energy and energy efficiency program. Now, at the same time, what India has been a little bit concerned about is the responsibility around mitigating climate impact. What India wants that everyone should own up to their responsibility, and this responsibility should not be equated just through linear means. That means the globe is very, very complex. We have got very, very rich nations. We have got extremely poor nations. We have got nations in between who are aspiring to grow. So the primacy of a person's right to grow, develop, and grow cannot be undermined by any means. That is what Government of India is saying. Government of India will continue to ensure that their own priorities of human growth and development will continue to remain the top agenda, but they want to ensure that the negotiations around climate are not adversely impacting the right to grow of the people at the grassroots level. So this is the overall Government of India's position. Now, coming to specifics, what we have seen, positive notes, what we have seen is in last 1 year or so, there have been some remarkable initiatives taken by Government of India, right? To spell a few things, the number one initiative is this very, very ambitious target of renewable energy generation from 20 gigawatts of energy that was planned earlier. Prime Minister Modi has actually asked people to target 10 times more than what was originally targeted. Very, very, and he is currently on a huge mission to raise the necessary resources, finances, and technology to deliver this ambition. This is one. The second, we also know that there is a lot of effort that is being taken by the Ministry of Power and Coal in India to streamline the overall energy portfolio, which includes modernization of power plants, which includes modernization of the distribution systems, and to relook at the entire power distribution system in India, to redefine the entire consumption systems in India also. So that is another positive thing that is happening. And the third area, which is again a lot of initiatives are happening with the business leaders, is around energy efficiency. Government of India is coming out with quite a number of schemes. There is already one very, very successful scheme called uh, PAT scheme, Perform, Achieve, and Transfer scheme, which has been running quite successfully in India. And government is coming out with more incentives to ensure that the businesses are investing on a number of energy uh, uh, efficiency initiatives. And there is also a few other things like smart city concepts, revamping the urban transportation system, giving a lot of emphasis on the rapid mass transport systems. Okay, all these things are actually pointing towards the intention of the government, not only take the responsibility by words, but also to take some very, very concrete actions on the ground when it comes to energy and emissions. So we are very, very positive on that. Government of India will come out with very, very strong measures, which will not only inspire the people in the country that yes, government is quite serious, but will also inspire the whole world.
Now, the Indian Prime Minister has in fact launched a number of very ambitious solar and other renewable energy projects. Which would you say are the most important ones, and what can we expect to see perhaps in the future?
Since the government announced this revised target of generating more than 160 gigawatts of renewable energy, the government has come out with a number of schemes. Okay, one scheme is quite interesting. In all the states, government has come out with what is called as an solar energy park. Okay, so large tracts of land has been now earmarked for the solar energy park, where the investors have to just come and set up shop. That means set up their solar panels over there, and the government will buy back that power with 10 to 15 years of power purchase agreement with those enterprises. Now, this has led to a serious investment in the solar energy in the last 1 year or so, where more than 10 gigawatts of additional power generation capacity has been added in last 12 to 15 months time. Okay, so this is one small example. What government is also coming out with is the appropriate incentives, the subsidies, the necessary catalysts that can trigger further growth in the solar energy sector in India. So in the recent times, you must have already heard about companies like Wellspun, Sun Edison, etc., investing very heavily in the solar energy generation in India, and which is very, very welcome, positive initiative.
Given India's economic growth, what are the prospects for the business community in terms of the low carbon economy? And what do you think that the Indian government can do to help accelerate them?
We have been discussing with a lot of investors. We have been discussing with a lot of policymakers, financial institutions, etc., etc. And we already have quite a number of articles actually written on what are those barriers, right? The barriers are in terms of technology. The barriers are in terms of the financing. The barriers are in terms of the policy environment and regulations. But ultimately, what we are striving to, what we are advocating for, is that how can we collectively work together or work towards creating an enabling environment in India? Now, what does an investor or a business enterprise look forward to? There are a couple of things. Number one is that everyone wants a very stable, consistent policy in India. Now, particularly the energy sector in India is not purely under the domain of the central government. Many of the energy regulation is up to the subnational governments in India. Now, in India, different states have got, different subnationals have got different set of rules. Now, how do we ensure that we have got a consistent policy framework in India, which is very clear, which is very stable? Okay, this is the first aspect. The second aspect is related to the tariffs and regulations, right? Now, what am I going to get in return if I put up a large solar plant in India? Am I going to get $1 per unit? Am I going to get 40 cents per unit? Or am I going to get 1 cent per unit? People want that clarity, number one. And not only the clarity, people also want, the investors also want that all those power purchase agreements that the government will have with those companies, they are adhered to, they are maintained at. I mean, they don't want a situation where somebody writes a power purchase agreement for 7 years, and 3 years down the line, those state governments or those companies are not keeping their promises. Okay, so this is the second area. The third area, which people investors are looking forward to, is a very very fast, quick judicial resolution system. For any reason, if an investor gets into a litigation tomorrow, currently in India, it can take years and years and decades, and no investor is ready to wait for that long. So, what investors and entrepreneurs need is, let us have a very, very quick litigation system in India where the judicial system is efficient and decisions are taken in 6 months to 1 year, not making people wait for years and years to come together. So, if we can actually keep track of these two, three key elements around policy, regulation, and judicial system, everyone is positive that money will flow in, technology will flow in.
Some analysts suggest that Prime Minister Modi's climate targets aren't in fact achievable. What would you say about that?
Now, see whether we will be able to achieve it, only time will tell, because it depends upon a lot of factors. Because Narendra Modi can give a dream, but the dream has to be implemented. But what that revised target has given life is that it has very clearly shown that yes, we have the potential and we will be able to do it, right? Now, the overall assumed renewable energy potential in India is about 750 gigawatts, including solar, wind, tidal, etc. Mr. Prime Minister Modi has targeted only one-fifth of that as of now, right? And what he has been saying is that even this one-fifth of the potential is very low for us to achieve. We need to achieve even bigger. So I absolutely personally welcome this kind of a very, very bold, ambitious, audacious target. Now it is up to the executive and administration to realize this target. And I do believe that India has got that capacity to deliver. Whether we have got that mindset to get it delivered, that is the most important question. But I do believe that yes, we can get it done.
Thank you very much, Krishnan. That's all we've got time for today. Thanks for joining us here at Climate TV. From all of us here at the Climate Group, goodbye.